a7 for white,
Yeah.
and then just try to move your rook from a1, thinking, oh, I have my pawn protected. I can try to bring my rook into trade. Then black at some point will likely have to sacrifice the rook on d6 for the knight on c6, and then take that a7 pawn. So that's the one thing you have to look out for if you are Radjabov, including now. Like if you move your rook away, say white just move the rook to g1.
Well, let's make a move for black here first. Let's say...
Sure, knight e4, and if you make a move like rook f1 or something, well, that's just really bad for many reasons.
Okay. Any move here, just to point out.
But you can't do it with the rook on c1. So it's like you really can't even force it because every other move is so bad.
It's very hard. Well, let's play a7 then. And then black does something, and if white puts the rook on a non-useful square, there's ideas where you give... Okay, well, that's even really bad because it allows... I'm trying to find a square. There's no way we can even show this instructive idea. Forget it, okay? We're just going to...
That's just how bad Hikaru's position. And that's actually... That was a good point because we're trying to come up with any desperado that Hikaru could make work, and it never works because any potential move that white would make to allow it is so bad that Radjabov would never consider it.
Exactly. For other reasons.
That's why Hikaru is now down to 3 minutes and 30 seconds for the remaining 8 moves he has to play.
And he's hesitated several times, and he's hesitated and then taken over a minute every time that he almost made a move. He has no idea what to do.
But this is your bullet chess champion. So if anybody can make moves quickly, it is Hikaru. But he's just trying to get that last hope somewhere. Maybe bring the knight in. Maybe bring that rook on d6 into active territory. But he just doesn't have a move.
No.
Well, this is different than bullet, right? You're a very good bullet player, often the highest rated bullet player on chess.com. Did you know that?
No, thank you for letting me know.
But talk about the differences. Bullet is a very different animal than when you've been spending all this over the board time. You're in a completely different mindset. Playing in a time control like this, 8 moves maybe feels impossible in 2.5 minutes.
Well, I mean, there's the logistical consideration. It's literally harder to make moves over the board. It takes a little bit longer for everything to register. There's the other consideration, which is that Hikaru was lost to begin with.
Right, the position isn't good.
The position isn't good. And it's incredibly hard to complicate things. Hikaru in Bullet is a virtuoso at making things complicated. Here, everything is defended. Radjabov's plan is simple, and I just don't see Hikaru pulling this off. Rook e2 to c2 here. Simple and I think incredibly strong, aiming at that c7 pawn, restricting the knight even further.
Yeah, that's a really nice move. Because you can move the knight first and then try to go rook c2, but why give black space on the 6th rank? So rook c2 is just a really nice move. And by the way, it looks like Alireza Firouzja, he's nearing his first victory of the tournament as well. All players in time trouble. But for Alireza, he's looking to take down Richard Rapport.
Oh, man. So much going on here in round 9. Yeah. Oh, wow. That Firouzja game is going to have quite the finish.
Because if you take, I was going to say this, if you take on e5 in that game, if we can show this, pawn takes e5, queen f8 is a little bit of a check, and then the rook takes back, and then white's rook ends there with mate.
Get down tonight.
A little bit of a mate.
Yep. Can't take it. Oh, why not? Why not? Oh. Wow. So Firouzja plays bishop takes c6.
Sorry, I was just going to say, you know who this is great news for? Is Fabiano Caruana, because Firouzja still has to play Nepo. And once he gets that first victory, we talk about Firouzja, he can beat anybody in this field.
Yeah, a Firouzja on fire is not the kind of person you want to play when you're protecting a tournament lead. Because one, even more than Fabiano, he has nothing to lose, right? Going to be absolutely reckless with abandonment there, just going after Nepo in that battle. So we have so many more dramatic matchups ahead here, despite the fact that Nepomniachtchi, his lead seems insurmountable, but it's really not. There's a lot of things that could happen. All right.
Curious if Timur has made a move.
Yeah. Rapport doesn't know what to play here because he doesn't have any good moves. Radjabov now down to 4 minutes himself.
And we saw how Radjabov was the recipient of an opponent's time trouble mistake, right? Ding Liren early in the tournament, he looked like he was well on his way to securing a victory, and he made an error. Radjabov pushes that pawn to a7. Hikaru brings that king over to g8.
And rook c2 looks so natural to me.
Looks like a fantastic move.
Hikaru said that he thought if Radjabov had increment in round 2 in their battle that he might have held that position. I don't know that Hikaru would hold this one with increment. It's a little bit of a different dynamic, but Hikaru is definitely wishing he had increment right now.
No, I don't think he is.
You don't think so?
I think he's looking forward to the game ending sooner rather than later. He is that lost right now.
Well, the time scramble is not over.
I'm not convinced at all that Hikaru is going to lose this game.
Yeah, I agree with Danya on this. I've seen him pull out things like this. This is not a game that until Rajava puts away, especially given that his time pressure is not that much better than Hikaru's.
But his chances of winning the game have just increased because Rook C2 is an incredibly important move that he's just played. And the knight from C6 is going to step back. You will have no way of defending C7 because the rook is tied down to A8.
Yeah, knight b4 is a pre-move.
Basically.
Pre-move.
Yeah. Unless you go rook d5, in which case knight e7 check might be a little bit better.
King of 7. Roger's going to remove
Knight
the
B4.
knight. And actually now every step they get, they are on move 34. 6 moves to make. 2 minutes for Hikaru. 3 minutes for Java. Or Java. I'm about to go into like what a Jabba the Hutt. I don't know.
Yeah.
By the way, let's not downplay how big this will be for Rajabov in his career, right? He has not won a classical chess game in 3 years. Never won a classical chess game against Hikaru Nakamura in their career, and they played a few times. So this is a Rajabov who's the most experienced player in the field, looking to strike.
But no knight b4 yet.
Yep.
He's taking too long on this move. He can't put himself in a position where Hikaru can complicate anything. Knight b4 is really, really simple.
Yeah, I'm trying to see
Yeah.
how black even responds.
It's
to knight
basically
b4.
resignable after knight b4.
Whenever players are taking a bunch of time on what we feel is the obvious move, it makes you go like, what's going on?
Yeah,
What is going on?
triple checking.
Triple checking.
Because Rajabov, he hasn't scored a single victory. He's lost a bunch of games. He knows he's winning.
He
but
finds it.
Yeah,
Knight
there
to
it is,
b4.
knight
Hikaru
b4.
immediately responds with c5. Was that the move?
No way.
Whoa.
He played something instantly.
Yeah, I think it was
The
It looks like
can't
c5.
keep up with the camera.
It-
It was c5.
and then-
BC instantly.
The
Knight
illegal
b6.
move was played. Illegal move.
What?
Illegal move.
Oh
Danny!
no, en passant's real. Oh, okay. Okay, for those who don't know, I will show you. His pawn just moved like a ninja and went behind my pawn, captured it as if it had moved once. This actually is en passant, for those who don't know. And if you're watching on chess.com's platform, there's a little info bubble that pops up to let people know what en passant is. Jokes aside,
130.
it's not. Robert scared me because the moment was so big. I was like, a player's gonna obviously en passant is real. It's not magic. Tell
Timur could lose
your
on time.
friends about en passant. What?
Timur could lose on time. He needs to move. He's got a minute on the clock, no increment, 4 moves to be made. And Hikaru is responding instantly.
And what-